This super lightweight folding totally UK legal bike is the Hygge Virum, and it is the sequel to one of my favourite bikes from last year. They've updated it, they've improved things, and they've made it even better. And yes, we are on the Hygge Virum, we're going to say it right on this video, updated from the previous version. So I think, you know what, let's just get out of the way what's actually different first. So over my shoulders, we've got 2024 Virum, 2025 Virum. They look very, very similar. It's really hard to tell the difference, but when you get a bit closer, you can see there's been quite a few improvements. So let's take a look. The first difference, what you hold on to, the hand grips on the new Virum have got the nice palm rests. The old Virum do not. Saddle. On the new Virum, we've got the nice Selle Royale saddle. On the old Virum, we've got an okay, no name saddle. On the new Virum, we have 8 gears. On the old Virum, 7 gears. And those new gears are Shimano Altus. The old gears, Shimano Tony. The brakes on the old one, they were great. 180mm discs, hydraulic Logan brakes. But on this one, we've still got 180mm discs, we've still got hydraulic, but we've got the slightly better Tektro brakes. We've also got better pedals on this one. The folding mechanism is much nicer, pull, push down. Whereas on the old one, nothing really wrong with them. Kind of a hard ABS plastic, but you had to push them in, push it down, ow, and getting it up wasn't quite as nice. And apparently, this is a brake light, but that wasn't, but I thought that was, to be honest. So I'm gonna just quickly check this out. Computer, both the same lovely color screen. That is indeed not a brake light, and indeed, this one is. And that concludes the differences between 2024 Virum, which was a great bike, and the 2025 Virum, which is even better. Yeah, this has been one of my favourite lightweight e-bikes, the Hygge Virum 2024 edition, as it did win some of the e-VRC Bieber Awards for 2024, but they've updated it. Most of the specs are the same. The 2024 edition is still a really good bike, but it's got those updates that have just pushed it a bit further along and made it a bit better. Incremental change. Here we are on a hill at the lights, and there's no torque sensor on this bike, it's a cadence sensor, but it does kick in pretty soon. Here we are on the worst road in Wolverhampton, and just like the 2024 edition, there's no suspension on this bike, and it doesn't have fat tyres. It has 20-inch thinner tyres, because this is built as a bike that is lightweight. You can get it on and off public transport or into the boot of your car. It's a last mile solution, but if needed, it can go over a bit of rough, and you could go further on it, because it does have that 360 watt-hour battery, 36 amps, 10 amp hours, which is good for a range of 60 kilometers. We'll give a proper range update at the end of the video. Have a more rust off. It's not too bad. I prefer suspension if I'm going to go over this stuff all the time, but on normal flat roads, when it isn't rough like now, I actually don't mind. In fact, I prefer no suspension, because you don't lose all of your energy. Well, you don't lose as much of your energy in the squidginess. All your pedaling energy goes directly into propelling the bike forward. Let's get out of the curb and see if it rattles my skull. Oh, it's just like a normal, you know, normal bike. Most bikes don't have suspension. So here we are at Sandy Lane for the hill climb. 42 Newton meters, same as last year. There is a learner, not sure what they're up to. Possibly doing a hill start. You will not believe what this learner driver tried to do. They were on Sandy Lane, a great hill in Wolverhampton, just stood there, and then the e-biker came from behind. 3, 2, 1, go. Let it kick in. Not help, I've got to go round them. And the e-biker easily passed the learner driver, but then he got stuck at the fat tree. Well, let's see how far we get up. I am obviously ghost pedaling at the moment. Let's put it in a lower gear. So it is all the motor down to 6 miles per hour. Yeah, past the fat tree. I think last time I stopped just before the park entrance. but I'm going to put grip box for this one. So not quite as far, only a few meters short, but as you can see, when you begin to pedal, you can use those gears, and as we said in that comparison, 8 speed this time. Still under shifters, which I love, but 8 speed Altus, Shimano Altus. So we go back up at a handy 8 miles per hour, well 9, 8.7. Yeah, I love the colour of this bike. It's one of them bikes, just like the last one, that on video I don't think it looks that good, but then when you see it in real life, you think, oh, actually, that's really nice, that is. I don't know, the quality just seems a bit better than the usual e-bike that I try. The finish, the components, it's just a step up. Hygge are a Danish brand. They're proud to let you know that with the flag on the side. Just don't pronounce it Hygge. Oh, overtaking the overtakers. I think what you've got here basically is a city bike, a city cruiser, not built for speed. However, because it isn't your big fat tyres, super heavy, and at 18 kilograms, this bike is super lightweight. And just like the old Hygge Virum, it can be bicep curled. It's just a bit awkward, that's all. And I gotta watch out for things hitting me. Whoa! Am I gonna get 5? I wasn't actually counting. There we go. So that means I can just turn the paddle assist right off as this car tries to kill me. And now I'm all on my own, no power. 8th gear. Now I'm going to say 8 and 7 and 6, not 5, but gears 8, 7 and 6 rattle a bit because the chain ring by the crank, it's not fully in line with those higher gears. So you can see a bend in the chain. If I go back to them again, let's put some power in. Yeah, very rideable without power. So I think you might be able to see that. You can see like a bend in the chain where it's got to go pull to our right to get to those lower cogs. Now, oops, oh, it's got a bell. Because obviously the rear gears, they're not always going to line up. So you've got to put your chain ring kind of central, I suppose, so there's less of a bend, but there seems to be a bit of a bias towards the lower gears, so there's more of a bend when you access the higher gears. Let's push this off. 8th gear. I'm not going to try too hard, but I'm going 25. It's not too bad. Nearly 26, gonna get to 26. 26, not bad for the little Virum. Now as you can see, or as you saw, because obviously I've done the comparison of the two bikes, I've actually still got the 2024 version, and I'll probably keep one of them going forward as well because I really like them. It's always worth me keeping hold of one of the lightweight bikes. They do really come in handy. For example, when I've taken the car for its MOT, I can shove it in the boot and ride back. But we'll be taking this on the train along with the ADO Air and also the PVY Z20, 2 other lightweight bikes, folding bikes. And I think after that, I'm going to keep one of the bikes as my go-to lightweight folding bike. But the ADO and the Libon are going to struggle to beat this because the quality is great. And not only is the quality great, because to be fair, at 1,400, although if you use our code you can get 3% off that. Hang on a sec, 1,400. 1%'s £14, 2%. So basically 42 quid, you can get 42 quid off it. I think that's pretty good. So £1,358. The ADO's coming next week, by the way, the ADO Air. So I'll do the full review of that, and then we'll get all 3 of them on a train. But what you're getting with the Hygge isn't just a quality bike, you're also getting UK service centres, because yeah, you can actually buy this bike from Enquiries, not in the shop, they won't be on display in the shop, but they're going to be on the Enquiries websites. Obviously, if you got it through Enquiries and it was an issue, you'd be able to sort it out with them. Also, I know that you'll be able to get it from Decathlon stores in the UK, and I think there's a few others as well. They do tell you on the website, because it is something to be proud of, I think, because one of the hardest things about most of the bikes I review is because they do come from China. When you have the issue of things going wrong, which with all things go wrong, even stuff, you know, like stuff from the big massive brands, but when it happens with them, generally you have to email them. They'll send you a component, might take a while because it won't be ready to go like their bikes are in the EU centres, and then you'll have to try and sort it out yourself or take it to a bike shop, which they'll all pay for. They're generally very good at helping you out, but it's just hard for them to help you out because they don't have UK service centres like Hygge do. It's time for a brake test. I'm going about 15. This tree, wow. I mean, usually, to be fair, at 15 miles an hour, brakes are always pretty good. But there's the tree. It's like one pace. That's pretty darn good. Nice chunky stand. I am sitting a bit low on the bike, I know that. But the saddle went down and I couldn't bother to keep adjusting it. Of course, the battery is part of the saddle stem. So let's look at how easily that can come out, but also how easy the bike folds down, because if you buy this, it is one of the things that you'll probably be doing fairly often. Now, height-wise, this does go very, very high, but not quite as low as you might think. Now, it does take a key, but the key is simply to lock this into place because this is the battery. You don't actually need the key to run the bike, but if you put the key into here and give it a little turn, you can now unlock this saddle. So it can go down, but you might notice it's coming out the bottom, and obviously you wouldn't want to go over a bump and hit that. So I wouldn't really recommend you having it down there. So I'd say that's your lowest point. And I think they say you'd be okay as low as 5'2" on this, and that is pretty low, to be honest, and I'm 5'9". But high, and it goes really high. Let's get that minimum insert. There's the minimum insert. Yeah, that's pretty high, that. Get me leg over. There we go. Ow! 6'5", 6'8", quite tall. Now, it is a folding bike, and hopefully it's easy to fold. So let's put that down a bit. Unlatch that. Undo that. Oh, it's got folding pedals, which are easily done just by doing that. Like that. There seems to be a bit of poo on that one pedal. Crack it open, and it's a lot less stiffer than the last year's model was, although that could have just been the one I had. And you can see it lands on that metal thing, and you can see the battery, it's landing on the battery, so really, we don't really want it that low, so I won't do it that low again. And then the handlebar, another lever, pull that open, and down it goes. Very small, very lightweight. Now, one thing I wasn't too keen on the 2024 Virum is the way the battery is connected to the bike. Sadly, it hasn't been changed. It's not the end of the world, but I'm not really a fan of it. So down here, the battery has a wire, and that connects to the bike, and you have to unscrew this, pull the wire off, and now the battery will come all the way out. There we go. Oh, that came off. So here's the battery attached to the saddle, and they are Samsung cells, 10 amp hours, 36 volts, 360 watt hours. Let's get it back in. Now, getting it out wasn't a massive issue, and getting it in, to be fair, isn't a massive issue. However, okay, let's lock it, take the key out, and then you got to grab that wire plug and plug it in and screw it up, and done. Problem is, doing it from the side I did it, I did get a bit of chain grease, so try and do it on the other side. And whilst we're here at the lights waiting, let's just see how the bike came and how easy it was to put together. In the box there's a, hang on a sec, Oi, that's my job. In the box there is a 2-amp charger, a keychain, tools, pedals, and also I had loads of straps. Loads of straps. I'm not sure how many straps you'll get. Now there is a reason why this box is so massive when you consider that the bike itself isn't a big bike. That reason is, if you can see, is that the bike is pretty much already built. Look at this, already built bike. Merry Christmas. Tighten the handlebars, get the pedals on, and that's it. All done. Battery's on charge. 10 amp hours, so it's going to take about 5 hours, assuming it's empty, so probably a bit less. And then we'll get on the road. Right, I got my GPS going now because I want to check out the speedo, because I'm not sure how accurate it is. But whilst I do it, let's just quickly check out those pedal assists. I'm pedal assist 0 right now. So pedal assist 1, it takes it to about 5 miles an hour basically. Pedal assist 2 wants you to go about 7 or 8. Pedal assist 3, maybe 9 or 10. So pedal assist 4, about 12 miles an hour. So let's just check out this speed, GPS, see how accurate it is. The computer screen, it's extremely visible, like it's really bright today, but I can see everything perfectly. No issues whatsoever, as you can probably see on the camera. If it's not pulsing, I think I can see it. Oh, it's not pulsing, there we go, you can see it, can't you? So I'm going to go down to information. I'm going to go to wheel size, and it was 20. I put it down to 16 to check it. So I'm going to put it back to 20. It says goodbye, that's nice, isn't it? Turn it back on again. So it kept going up to 17.5, and I was thinking, why is it doing that? You can see how the Jeep, whoa, it's over a bump, nearly lost my phone. So yeah, we go in at the legal speed, which is fine. And when you're going slower, it seems quite accurate, but as soon as you get over 15.5, it seems to want to tell you you're going 17.5. So hopefully, if you do get pulled over, they won't just pick your wheel up and say, oh, how fast is this going? Because you're actually going at the legal speed limit, but for some reason it's reporting a bit more. So Hygge though, their communication's really, really good. So maybe they can chime in on the comments to see what's going on that. But apart from that little niggle and the battery plug, which I'm still not keen on. And what was the other niggle? There was another niggle. And the chain making a bit of a noise. Apart from those 3 little things, this bike is really nice, and it just, like, it's not going to blow anyone's mind with speed or acceleration or anything like that. It's just a really nice quality bike that you know you'll be able to get it fixed if anything ever goes wrong. So it's range check time. Now remember they said about 60 kilometers. In fact, let's just change the... We have done 20.9 kilometers. It was 13 miles exactly. We're at 23% battery. I'm over 100 kilograms. It is pretty cold here, and I was in the top pedal assist pretty much all the time. So if I was to drain it all the way down to 0, which you really should not do, I'd probably expect about 26 to 30 kilometers. So that's about half of what they said. But with all those extra barriers, I think that's pretty good. So yeah, that was the Hygge Virum. If you enjoyed that video, do leave us a thumbs up. If you want to purchase the Hygge Virum, don't forget we've got a discount code. That'll be in the description, along with a link. And if you use our link, it does help the channel a lot, because we'll get a bit of commission, which allows the channel to keep on going. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, ride safe.